Well, hello there, friends, and welcome to Strangers in the Night, your source for late night VR gaming talk. I, of course, am your host, Wes, and with me, as always, are my good friends. What's up, Eric?
What's up, fellas? Happy 1 week till PlayStation
Uh,
VR 2.
don't even get me started. I've been on that kick all day long, man, and I can't get off of it. And
It
of course, my good friend Ruuts, man,
We did
man,
it! We did it, Wes.
We
we
did it.
did it.
Yeah, I don't
did
know
we
what.
do it? I don't even know if we did it. Like, people in the chat have to tell us, like, how do we sound? Do we sound okay? I mean,
I've never had
I've
that many
never
audio issues
I've never
ever.
seen anything like that having that many audio issues at one time.
So we're literally on plan B for most of our audio transmission tonight. Plan C for my microphone, in fact. But we've got a secondary setup going here. We're going to go ahead with our plan, and we don't know that it's going to work, but we're hoping like hell that it does.
Oh, it's gonna work. I feel it.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, we have a special guest tonight. I don't want to keep him waiting any longer than we already have. So why don't we go ahead and switch on over and talk to Funktronic Labs co-founder and Light Brigade developer, Eddie Lee. Eddie, thank you for your patience, sir. We very much appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
I'm excited to have you here, man, because I got to tell you, um, I was mildly interested in your game from the reveal. Like, there was a lot of games that got revealed the first time they ran your trailer, and it kind of got overshadowed by some of the bigger titles. But I could tell you had something a little different going on here with all the guns and the spiritualism. I could tell it was something different, but I didn't expect it to be as addictive as it was when I finally got in the game here. I guess it's been a week or two ago now. Um, when did you know that you had something fairly unique on your hands here with this one?
I think pretty early. Like we developed a lot of prototypes around the gunplay and the feeling, the locomotion. And once like these basic ingredients kind of came together, it was pretty obvious that we had something cool. And I
Yeah.
also want to say like the the trailer itself, I know a lot of people are like hating on it. It was a little rushed. We got this like very last minute opportunity to show something for PlayStation, and we kind of we didn't have as much time as we wanted, so we kind of threw together something to be part of this like this marketing initiative. And I think the final full release trailer would be a lot more impressive. I think everyone would be pretty impressed by it, but I think the trailer that you're showing right now, it's pretty cool, but I think it does not do the actual game justice. I think a lot of people get kind of confused when they
Mhm.
watch this trailer and then when they play the game. So it's
And
Uh,
this is one of those games too that's hard to show in a trailer because it doesn't, like, you need to see this in a VR headset, I think, to get the true feel of it and the look of it. Because anything that has a different art style, I think, needs to be seen in the headset. Because to me, this game shines in VR in a VR headset. It doesn't look the same on a flat screen when you're watching a video. When you go in there and you see the color contrast and the art style that you used, when how everything focuses and pops where it needs to and is like dulled out where it also is, it just looks so good inside the headset. I don't like, it's just tough to get that in a trailer.
yeah,
yeah, thank you.
and for what it's worth, I don't think that the trailer is a bad trailer. I think it's a good trailer, but you kind of have to understand the context that it got released in. So it was released as a part of a Sony showcase or a Sony reveal of launch titles. And when you think about the mindset of the PSVR crowd, the worst thing that you can show these people is what they consider a typical Quest port. So when they see something that's maybe not photorealistic and something that's a little bit cartoony, even though it looks beautiful in the headset, they automatically default to, oh, well, this must be a game that was developed for Quest that they're bringing over. And I think a lot of people just kind of dismissed it at that point until some of the people started talking about, like myself, like Gamertag, like Eric here, and started telling people, hey, you guys might have jumped the gun on this one because it's really fun. And not only that, it's like Eric said here, it's really beautiful once you get the headset on.
Thank you very much. Our team's small. We have 9 people, You know, it's hard to compete against Horizons with I don't know how
Right.
much 500 people. And also, I think the marketing around PlayStation is generally towards very like hardcore, like high fidelity gamers, you know, and they expect some sort of photorealism, right? Like Uncharted, God of War. Those are the type of gamers that, you know, like PlayStation likes to market towards. And, you know, when you try to make a game that's not in that realm, I could kind of understand why it has a trouble like kind of cutting through. But you know, the art style we're really proud of. We got a lot of feedback from the trailer as well. If you just look at the one currently, you can see that there's not even hands showing. You know, a lot of people they poo-pooed us are like lazy devs, don't show hands.
Wolveraza.
So we made a huge effort. We got to put hands in. So we added it in last minute, and I think it turned out pretty good. I think it made the aiming even feel much better as well. So
Yeah, and the
good
aiming
feedback.
feels really good. And you know, for all we're sitting here talking about how the game looks, I think Roots that it's probably the gameplay that really what sets it apart, right? I mean, um, realism when it comes to the firearms and the gun mechanics in this game, but you know, at its core, this isn't a realistic game. It's a fantasy game, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely a fantasy game, and it's definitely it gets to points, man. At least for me, like I don't know what's I started teleporting around, which is amazing, you know, because you have. I mean, you're not. It's not all teleported. You got your teleport for jump, but you're gonna end up using it because there's so much going on. And I found myself putting myself in worse situations, and I'm like, where am I getting shot from? Because there's all sorts of shit going on. This game actually it seems like it starts slow, but it doesn't. You know, I mean, it does, but it doesn't. Like once you start to get into it, the action just starts to get for me pretty crazy. It's cool.
Right. So, for those of you who don't know, the Light Brigade is a roguelike shooter with fantasy elements that's launching on all major VR platforms 1 week from today, next Wednesday, launching alongside PSVR 2. You can pre order the game now on both Oculus Quest or Meta Quest, whatever you want to call it, and PlayStation VR. And there's a 15% discount. I know if you get it on the PlayStation platform. There are links in the description below to pre-order the game now. So you know, we promised people a real-time preview, and that's what we're going to attempt to deliver here. Which, for those of you who are new, what that means is I'm going to go play the game now. My co-host and Eddie are going to stay on screen. We're going to have a conversation and kind of talk about the game as I play it, and kind of demonstrate some things to you in real time about what makes this game so awesome. So while I switch over, Eddie, if you wouldn't mind, someone in the chat, let's see here. I think it was Tatum. Tatum was talking about some of the PlayStation VR specific features, like adaptive triggers, maybe some haptic feedback. While I switch over, why don't you talk a little bit about on what's going to make this game unique on PSVR 2?
Yeah, for the PSVR 2, the enhanced features that we have in play for launch is the adaptive triggers. You know, it has a certain threshold that allows um, the triggers to feel like gun triggers, which is really cool. We have I forgot what they call it, the face haptics, uh, like HD audio and all that. We do plan to add as a post-launch patch, foveated rendering that has been a very super popular requested feature. We also plan to improve a lot of the graphics, like you know, better shadows and a bunch of other things. We view this game as like a living product. So something like Dead Cells, where the game keeps improving post-launch. You know, with a roguelike having a very modular game design, it's very easy to kind of plug and play new items. So new enemies, new worlds, new bosses, new weapons, you know, all these kind of things are what we're considering adding after launch.
Oh,
That's
nice.
super cool. Yeah.
Somebody in the chat, Distracted, was saying something about the only reason they hadn't bought it yet is because there's no jump button, and I guess to any type of teleport makes them sick. But so this is the problem. Okay, so it's the jump exists and the teleport exists. It's one of those games where you've got different spots you need to get up too high, and so you have the jump has to be like a teleport, and it actually works really well. And like I said, it works almost too well because it got me into trouble as I was getting nailed
How
from
many
all
how many
sorts of
bear
directions.
traps did you teleport yourself into?
A lot. At first I was like, what do you mean I'm trapped? For 5 seconds or whatever time
I
frame it
love
was.
that.
Yeah, and so I had to be a little bit more careful about where I was just willy-nilly jumping around. So
Yeah, I mean, Eddie, I like the movement style. I know there's people out there like, well, if I have to teleport, I don't want to do it. But I like that you have smooth turn, you do have free locomotion, but again, there's certain areas that you just can't. Like this game has to be played fast. And if you had to like have a climbing mechanic where you had to like physically climb up and do that whole like animation of the climb, it would be too slow for the type of game that this is, right? So I think that's probably why you went with that teleport for your longer jumps or your climbing, right?
Yeah, I think a good roguelike game should punish you for being out of position. You know, player can technically like dash around and kind of move around very fast, but we try to punish them very quickly. So even though you have a lot of these locomotion mechanics, I think a player would expect themselves to like kind of learn the lesson pretty quickly. You do need all these locomotion mechanics to kind of traverse through the world. You can't just like smooth walk everywhere. There's places where you have to jump long ravines and kind of get up and kind of go below, like you said. So yeah, you definitely have to kind of move around a lot.
but be careful,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
be
Yeah, be
careful with the bear
careful.
traps. Yeah, I mean, I found myself using it quite a bit because I mean, you can be shooting from one area and then you can quickly teleport yourself to another area and get a completely different angle. And I think, especially later in the game when it gets more difficult, you have to make those moves. Like trying to move smooth, like regular locomotion, smooth locomotion. It would be super slow. Like I found myself, I don't normally like teleport either. Like I'll never use it in a normal game, but here I used it quite a bit, especially in the boss battles and things like that. When I needed to go collect ammo from somewhere in some of the boss battles, I was finding myself jumping all over the place to try and get ammo and get different directions to shoot from.
Yeah, for sure. Like with every single movement mechanic, I believe the player should have a cost benefit, right? So if you have no hands in the game, you move pretty fast. If you're holding a gun with one hand, you move a little slower. You're a little bit more encumbered. But when you hold two hands, we assume that you're aiming, so you're walking pretty slow.
I'm hearing.
You're walking pretty slow. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm hearing an echo on everyone. Is it everything sound normal to you, or
It
check the
sounds
chat?
normal to me, but
People
apparently
in
not.
chat are saying there's an echo. This is
All right,
Eric dropped some acid, so do I sound really bad?
all right. Hold
Do I
on
sound
here.
like I dropped acid?
I think I can probably remedy this on my end
I was gonna
here.
say
Hold
I
on.
don't understand why there would be a an echo on. I'm not seeing it anyway or hearing it.
Are we guys? Are we in chat? Are we still echoing?
It's got to be in
Let,
this scene.
yeah,
So
let us know if we're still echoing.
if I go back to this scene, I guarantee there's no echo. But I don't understand why that scene. It was echoed. Okay, yeah, it's okay now. No,
Yeah,
no.
I switched it over. That
Okay,
should
Echo's
fix
gone.
it.
okay.
I
You
sound like
still
I'm Zimtalk. I think Zimtalk sounds like I'm playing ayahuasca right
Well,
now. I had an ethereal echo with ayahuasca.
you probably are. I don't see the audio for the game though, but you probably haven't switched that over yet, right?
Yeah. Okay. Hold on a second here. We're gonna have to switch a couple things.
I did like the fact that let us pray because I do like to pray. In real
I
life.
thought you might
So
like
I
that.
thought that
I
was
thought
kind of
you
cool.
might like that, Ruuts.
Yeah. And you get to see your hands. So
All right. So I need to. Let's see here.
we had so many oh wait, hold on. Okay. I see. I think I found where the echo is. And I just lost my internet here. Signal. Okay, it's coming back. You shouldn't have an
All right.
echo. There was two audio output captures for some reason. I don't know, man. What the hell's going on here?
it's anarchy. Cats and dogs living together.
Yeah.
It's anarchy.
All right. So I'm gonna try something here. It's probably not gonna work.
Well, whatever we had the audio from the very beginning, and then you said you switched something. I don't know that the echo was on your end, so you can probably switch it back.
What I think it is, I think that the sound capture is capturing your guy's microphone when I bring it through here. So when I
Hmm.
go into Oculus and I set it to capture VR audio, it's capturing everything. It's capturing your guys.
Ah,
Yeah.
so you got to switch
So
that
that's
back.
to get the game audio. I do, but I got to try to figure out a way here
Do you
to.
have the second tab open, which says to emulate computer audio into VR?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
two toggles.
So
All
I'm
right.
super excited for the PlayStation version of this game, guys. I've been playing this on Steam. I've been playing a little bit of Quest. Thank you for some of the access to this, Eddie, early on. But I'm ready for the PlayStation version next week. I cannot wait. I was telling Roots I used this little guy today, Roots, the little tiny screwdriver to put in my new SSD card in my PlayStation 5. So I have it now. I have two more terabytes of memory in my PlayStation 5,
Hey,
so I can add in the Light Brigade.
do you think that's enough?
I also have a 5 terabyte
Oh
external
God.
SSD as well. I have all my
Well,
PlayStation 4 games on that, but you have to have your you have to have any PlayStation 5 games and any VR games pretty much. You're gonna have to have internal.
I'm
So
just gonna move everything over to my portable, and either that or just delete everything. I don't play shit on that thing anyway. So,
I will say though, anybody who's looking, I think like Amazon had a sale on the Samsung Pro 980, I think it's called. You have to make sure you get the one that has the heat sink included in it because the PlayStation 5 does need a heat sink with their with that SSD. But it was cheap. It was 40%. Not cheap. I shouldn't say that. It's not cheap, but it was 40% off, so it's cheaper than it normally is.
well, how much was
But
it?
definitely worth it.
How
Let me
much is
tell you, I'll
cheap
tell
in
you.
Mash Daddy's world?
I
That
want to say
guy's
it was
$7,000.
It was
Oh,
$180.
oh, Jesus, dude, really? I
That's
don't even
that's
remember paying that much when I bought mine, but maybe
it was two. It's normally two some. Let me just look. I might be wrong. Hang on, let me look.
I might
But
be
I think
wrong.
it's
It's
like
been a while
normally
since I bought the one I bought for my PC, which is probably the same one you have, but I put it in my PC.
All right, let me look at my orders.
Does it void
Um,
your warranty if you add a new hard drive?
No,
I don't think it does because
no.
they actually have a spot where you can put it.
Yeah, it's got a spot for a drive, I guess. But Zim says he
Yeah.
figured out the problem with the audio. It's my background is finally taking over the podcast. I think it is. You got blue balls floating around everywhere. You know who
Blue
loves?
balls?
You know who loves or loves to cause blue balls?
My mom.
Oh yeah.
So
does.
it was $179.
Oh,
Roots.
that's not
I
bad.
said 40% off. It's normally $200.
Oh,
It was
wow.
10% off. I'm sorry. It was 10%
Okay.
off.
Well, 10% is better than no percent, right?
I was looking at something else that was 40. That's why I was thinking that one. But it's for anybody out there who's getting a who's getting a PlayStation VR 2. Lots of games coming. Tough to keep moving them in and out. So
So can you guys
Yeah,
hear me right now?
we can.
we can.
Okay. So I think I found a workaround here. I won't be able to hear the game audio, but
Oh,
you guys won't get an echo that way.
well,
Do you really need game audio? Eddie
game
didn't put any
audio is
time. Eddie's team didn't put any time and effort into their audio. You're okay, right?
yeah, right. You're missing
The
probably the
audio
best
guy that
part.
worked on Eddie's team right now just died a little inside.
Well,
Wes.
you guys should have game audio. You guys should have game audio now, right, Roots?
They do now because I had
What's
it
that?
muted. They
Come
do now.
again?
Yep, it's in.
All right.
It's
All
good.
right. So everybody gets game audio, just not me.
Right. Well, again, that's 2022, man. 2023, no game audio is where you go.
What do we think? We're better than OS with getting game audio?
This man legitimately thinks that he is better than us.
You guys can tell me how it sounds, right?
Well, I can show you. I mean, I can see the bar. That's all I can see. I can't hear it. So.
All right. All right. Well, I'm gonna play anyway.
But yeah, no,
this
it
is gonna
looks
be-
good.
It's gonna be weird not playing with audio.
No, you'll be good. We'll tell you what you're not hearing. Oh wait, we don't hear it either.
All right, I'm gonna try. Anyway. We'll see how it goes.
Awesome Tatum says Eddie can sing the music, and he probably knows the score by heart, right?
Yeah, you guys just hum. Yeah, hum for me.
But you're right. As long as they can hear the audio, that's all that really matters.
All right, so here we are. So this is the hub world. This is where you start each run at, And there's a few different parts of this world. Now, Eric, I know last time we talked about this game, you hadn't found this guy yet, and this is Samson. And after each run, or during each run, you earn experience points that you can bring back here and spend to upgrade.
Nobody told me
Yeah,
about Samson. I
as soon
didn't
as we got
find
done,
him either. Holy crap!
as soon as we
dude.
got done last week, after we talked about it on the show last week, as soon as we got done with the show, I actually jumped back in the headset and went in and saw him and upgraded. I upgraded to the pistols and I upgraded my rifle with him.
That sucks,
Yeah.
dude, because I didn't find this guy either, bro. Like I was just running through levels.
So I've already upgraded my rifle once. I've upgraded, unlocked the pistol, and I have 1 point left. And I could spend that on something, but I think I'm just going to hold on to it because I want to upgrade this rifle again.
Are you ever able to, when you pick up enemies' weapons, are you ever able to store them, or is that just like a one-shot deal? I could never really like.
You can't reload him, I think, right?
Okay, or yeah.
No, it's you can't equip them. Basically, once you finish all the rounds, it just disintegrates.
Okay.
But we're hoping to actually improve that mechanic a bit more, where maybe like when you're holding this like obsidian rifle, it deals massive damage, but it also deals damage to you over time. Like your hands are sizzling.
Oh, that would be cool.
So it would be like
Yeah.
a risk reward type thing. Like you can do a lot of
Yeah.
damage, but you're gonna die a little bit using it. That would be sweet. I would love that.
Yeah, we're probably gonna do a whole update theme around like obsidian forces and like all these mechanics as well.
It makes,
I love anything with a roguelite where you do perks and buffs at the
Mhm.
same time. Like we get like, okay, you get this perk, but you get buffed in this way or that way. I love that. I love that in a roguelite. Because you have to make choices, right?
Yeah, it's all about providing choices.
So here's where you choose your character class, and I've only ever done rifleman. Now I have the scout unlocked, and I'm about to start on that. I guess each individual class, you have special abilities, perks versus disadvantages, and you have different weapons. But since most of my experience, or I mean, actually all of my experience, has been with rifleman, I'm going to stick with what's familiar to me for this particular stream.
Wes, what headset are you using? People are asking.
I'm using Oculus Rift S. It does run natively on my HP Reverb G2, but the precision shooting that the rifleman requires, I had some occlusion with my G2 headset. Most games it's not a problem, but games like this and Population 1, where small variances in the tracking make a difference, it's just not good for that. And this is one of those games.
I'm starting to feel like I want pro controllers, man, because it doesn't matter what shooting game I have. You know, it's like you hit that point where, you know, the tracking is not 100%, because I think I played it with the Rift S, and I had those points where you're getting it up top and it, you know, you're like, oh, I can't, I forgot I'm in VR, I can't aim that way. So you have to kind of adjust. You get used to it. It's just been a while since I played a shooter game, and so I think it just made me think that there was more reasons for the Quest Pro controllers than ever before, because I want controllers that are actually tracked. You know what I mean? Which is cool.
Yeah,
they're cool.
The way you put your hands when you aim too, like one here, one in front. A lot of times it's not really trackable.
Yeah.
On a lot of
On almost all headsets,
you know?
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna actually attempt something here that might give me a little bit of game audio, but let me know if it bleeds through and to my microphone. And I don't think it will, because my microphone's kind of far away from me right now.
Eddie GT has a good question in chat. He says, "Why the rifleman class first?" He said it's such a good class, but why do you go into that one first to open the others?
I don't know. I just think it just feels good. You know, it's not too complicated. It's not too easy, not too hard. It's just kind of very good standard gun. You know, kind of right in the middle. Like we have ones like in the very last class you unlock is the sniper class, which is the Kar 98K.
Oh,
And
love that gun.
each shot requires you to do a full bolt action, you know, cycle, and that's a little bit tougher. You know, I just think the rifleman was just the perfect like introduction one, so we went with that.
So I've got game audio now. I think we might actually be able to do this.
Let me see.
Awesome.
You know what's funny is like, okay, so I got the stream open, right? Obviously to see the chat, and for whatever reason, it didn't just start playing until right now. All of a sudden, I heard the buzz of the beginning, and I'm like, fuck, man, like I just gotta go find that now, and it's done. So that's good.
All right, so let me ask you one question here while I have you here, Eddie, because I've never done this global sun run thing over here. I've always just did normal runs. What is this, and what does it entail?
So that is a online asynchronous feature where basically we choose one type of world, and players could just kind of keep going to the world, next level until they die. And your score is kind of shared with all the other players in the world. So each day is like a daily run that all players can engage in.
Cool. So there is some kind of multiplayer here, albeit through leaderboards and asynchronous. So
Yeah,
cool.
there's a few. There's when enemies die, or when other online players die, we kind of cache their positions in the world. So every day, at the start of the day, UTC time, a new seed gets generated for everyone in the entire world. So when at the very first run of the day, everyone goes through the same, and when you die, that like seed gets incremented by 1. So everyone kind of shares the same path as they play through the game. And then if you die, we kind of cache that position, and then you can kind of see where other players have died around. Sort of like how Dark Souls does it.
So
Okay.
Eric, did you do any of the sun run?
I did not. I just did the dark. I didn't even realize that it was there, to be honest with you. I hadn't gotten that. I don't think I've gotten that far yet. I'm just about to the second boss, or got to the second boss and died. So yeah, that's where I am so far. But yeah, I'm.
Second boss is tough, right?
It's not easy, man. Even the first one, because I actually got to the first one fairly early, and I don't think I was quite ready yet. So the first one, it took me 2 tries to get through the first boss. But it's not too challenging to where you're gonna get frustrated, but it's just enough to where it still feels like it's when you get through it, you're like, okay, I got through it.
Yeah, you got to be quick with that second boss, but you have to be careful too. You can't just be reckless about it. All right, so through my experience, the way this game is structured is you go through these different worlds or biomes. Each of them split into 2 areas, 2 levels, and after you make it through a few of those, you'll make it to a boss level.
Yeah, each level is also procedure generated. We have a few high-level layouts, but each level has a random setting, and also a lot of the configurations all infinitely procedure generated as well.
Yeah, I should have warmed up.
You know what my favorite part so far about this game is the fact that, like, okay, so you play games like this, and usually you're shooting the enemies, and you're you're ducking behind stuff, and you can just sit there. This isn't one of those games. The AI, the enemies are like start pursuing you, like they're teleporting all over the place. All of a sudden you turn around and they're fucking right there, and it just I really like intelligent AI, and it seems like the AI on this is once they realize you're there, they're all over your ass, and I like it. That's kind of what you want with a game like this, right?
Yeah, you want to kind of apply constant pressure in a way that forces player to make intelligent choices, or at least puts them in a position where they can make intelligent choices, and hopefully based on their experience they can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. We got a $4.99 super chat. Wes, Sony just took my money from my pre-order. No more stressing out. Laugh out loud. That was from Kill Artist One, the Dreamweaver Game Cat, and I can confirm I just got an update. I got charged for my PlayStation.
Did you?
VR
Nice.
Yep, just now. They just charged it. Boom, hit it.
All right, so what you want to do while this is these levels are procedurally generated and not particularly like long. Most of them are the ones, at least early on. You do want to be thorough in searching. It's not just you and the enemies. You'll find items everywhere that will help you progress your character and prolong your runs. So these glowing boxes, these are the best. You typically get some kind of powerful upgrade or a tarot card that gives you a special ability or buff. And we got
Yeah, and
caught.
you can actually get parts for your weapon too, right, Eddie? In those boxes as well.
Yeah, the treasure chest you can get cars, weapons, attachments. Yeah, just a lot of these kind of buffs that makes your run much nicer. The idea is like as you stack these tarot cards and your attachment for your guns, you should feel more and more powerful. And you know, it makes your run a lot more interesting in a way that you don't want to die because you have all these buffs. So the stakes becomes higher because you have more souls that you're carrying, more buffs that you're kind of carrying through as well. So
I gotta say, your art director is extremely talented because not only is this world beautiful and the characters and the environments, but these cards are absolutely stunning. I love how these look with the depth.
Put your face
thank
right up
you.
in there, Wes. Put it like right up into your face. So cool.
Right up in there,
Okay,
man.
Can you guys see that? There's a battleship like burning in the background. That's awesome.
Yeah, we went hard on these cards. We have so many images.
I want a deck. If you guys ever do like decks for promos, I want to.
That
would
would
be
be a
cool.
great idea, though, right? Get all those cards in a deck. That would be sick.
Hell yeah.
All right, so visibility's low, especially in these early levels because of all the fog and snow. But we do have a bit of a advantage here because we can pray, and our prayers are typically answered by telling us where the enemies are at. So you see that red icon up there? That means there's an enemy right behind that tree.
Oh God, see, I didn't end up doing
Oh,
that.
shit.
Man.
Yeah,
I
no,
just
it's
stepped on
nice
a big
too.
trap.
And you just can't spam it and use it over and over, right? Too, because it's you get a cooldown, right, Eddie? That so once you use it once, there's a time period that you have to go through before you can really use it again.
Yeah, it's a pretty long cooldown, but you can upgrade it at the blacksmith.
Ooh,
Oh,
I
that-
didn't
oh,
know
that-
that.
See, I thought this was a level 2 enemy. I never seen this guy in the opening level before. Crap.
Stay out of the traps, Wes.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's oftentimes we kind of sprinkle these like really hard enemies that kind of appear very seldomly, so you kind of got lucky or unlucky in this
Unlucky,
case.
yeah.
Well, I mean, unlucky in the fact that I had to deal with that guy so early, but what, there was like 4 enemies in the level now instead of like there's typically like 8 or 10 at least.
Yeah.
So that wasn't so bad.
But that's what makes these types of games so special too, though, right? Is every raid is different. Like your enemies, everything's going to be different. It's not going to be like you can memorize a level and get through it because you know where every enemy's going to be. Never going to be that way, right?
Correct. Yeah, what makes roguelike special is the randomness, and having this randomness allows the players to focus more on skill than randomization. So how we develop the enemy system is we have tokens. So like at the beginning there's like 100 tokens, and each enemy, some cost 10. Like that enemy that you encounter was like maybe 30 tokens. So like you were saying earlier, we have once it chose that really hard enemy, then there's few of the normal enemies. So it kind of gets distributed in a even difficulty curve.
First time I saw that guy, I shit my pants. It was right after I beat the first boss for the first time. All right, so here's something that's really cool that happens randomly. And randomly on your journey between levels, you'll come to a quiet clearing with one of your allies here. This is Jude, who I rescued in one of my earlier runs. And Jude will sell you things. And oftentimes I don't have any money to give him, but just so happens this time I do. Alright, so can I scroll? Alright, poison barrel would be awesome, but obviously it's very expensive. Soul container. That ups my maximum HP. That's probably what I'm gonna go with.
Like Mash said the other day, Wes always goes with health, right?
He does. Like when me and Wes are completely different play styles, and that's what's kind of cool about a roguelike is you can play it differently. Like everybody's experience can be different here, and depending on how you play. Like I'm way more aggressive, and I usually always go for the power perk, whether it be upgrading my weapon or upgrading, something that makes my shots more powerful. Where Wes is definitely more proactive in keeping himself alive, and he will always normally go like protect first or like defense first, right?
Took the homing shot because that's very handy in some of these more mountainous levels. But I took a couple of hits right off the top, and my health was already low, and I knew by taking that maximum health buff that it would fill my health completely back up again. So it's kind of what,
Win-win-win.
yeah, win-win exactly. Thank you, Jude.
Yeah. Zimtalk said that heart animation is sick, and that is sick, man. When you get that heart and you like grip it and it like crushes, it's super cool.
It looks like it's from the Crystal Realm on Adventure Time. If anybody watches Adventure Time.
And when you start unlocking future classes too, that each player class also has a different player style. So, like for example, we have a dual player class that makes it feel very John Wicky.
Ooh,
It forces you to kind of be very aggressive, like teleporting in front of people, like boom, 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 teleporting away, teleporting back in. It's definitely a different feel to the standard rifleman.
How many
And same with the
dudes we have
sniper
now?
too.
There's like
Sorry.
10, 12 guys when I
And you prayed.
did the prayer. Yeah.
Did God didn't answer your prayer and take a couple of them out for you? That'd be my
Yeah,
prayer.
right.
Like, just knock them all out, God, and then let me just
This is
breeze through and
exactly
get the
what I was-
stuff.
This was exactly what I was talking about a moment ago, where you should always be looking around because there's stuff everywhere. Pottery you can break, chests you can open, your fallen comrades stuck to a tree.
Yeah. Are you able to pet the dead dogs? Tim Talk was saying earlier. Maybe not.
Ruuts.
Hey, I'm just reading Zimtalk's comment from earlier.
I like the dogs, man.
Yeah, well, when they're attacking me, I don't like them. I want to kill them fast.
I know. This is some of what I was talking about with like the way the art style is here. You can see that, like, especially in this level, things are very like, you either got that snowy, cloudy effect, and everything's you got some gray colors, and then you see the fire, and it's super bright and it's super contrasty off of the the other environments. And this is the cool art style I like. Or if you see some of the Eddie, is it called obsidian? That's like implanted in the trees, or where it's impaling one of the dead, your dead, brothers. It's pretty cool.
All right, now I'm getting nervous because I know there are a ton of dudes in here and I don't see any of them.
You
There
got
he
this.
is.
There he is. Yeah.
I actually never tried the melee. There is no melee here, right, Eddie?
Not yet. The enemies can melee though, so if you get near them, they'll punch or kick you.
Nice, but you
Fair
said
enough.
not yet. I said we heard that not
Oh,
yet.
cool. And,
Well, melee is hard. You have to do it either perfectly or it feels janky.
It is, yeah, because the collision has to be perfect with it, right? You can't if the collision is off even a little bit, melee can be so bad for the game.
Yeah. Like oftentimes, I like shitty melee games. You just kind of wave a sword around until they die, right?
yeah,
Yep.
cool.
But good ones like Bone Lab allows you to kind of feel all the physics, and that I feel like we have to go all the way if we want to do melee attacking.
Old Darth wants to know what aiming options are there. And I thought wasn't there an option to add a sight on there to one of them? Or maybe
I think you can upgrade your sights at some point. Am I wrong about that?
Yeah, there's well, you start with iron sights, and then you can also add a red dot and holographic as well. And each one has a level 1, 2, and 3. So you
Nice.
can upgrade those.
Yeah, I thought I saw the laser or the dot that I could get, but it was like Wes said about that poison barrel. It was like so expensive. Wasn't it in one of the things to buy, right? I was
Yeah,
like,
it's
I didn't.
700.
Yeah, I didn't have enough for it. And I was like, man. And what's funny is I bought something just to check something out, and then I was like kicking myself because I'm like, probably gonna want that down the road. I probably should have saved my money, but
I've actually had that poison barrel before. It's a really cool thing, and I picked it up from a different kind of spot. Once you get further on in the game, you'll come into these areas where you can buy upgrades, but there's only one, and you can see what it is, and either you have enough money for it or you don't.
Or you get lucky and you find one in a raid. Chest.
That happens too.
Eddie, be haptic support for this?
Yeah, actually, there's a gentleman in our Discord who implemented it fully recently.
Oh, wow.
Nice. I'd have my vest on
Um,
right now, and it would have taken us another 20 minutes to work all
Yeah.
the bugs out.
That's
Yeah, he
cool.
got it all.
So just somebody in your Discord set it all up for you. That's amazing.
Yeah, we had a really nice fan. His name is Florian.
Oh, is it Florian
Furberger?
Florenberger?
Yeah, yeah.
He
he's been
does.
sending-
Dude, he's in chat right now, Florian Fehrenberger, and he does a lot of this for a lot of games. He does a lot of haptic mod support, so he's really helpful to the community for B-Haptics.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
been
that's-
posting a lot of his videos too. It looks great. I really want to try one.
Another
Kick
one.
ass, Florian. Good job, dude.
Now, let me ask you about this. You can pick up the enemy rifles and use them. Is there any kind of advantage to doing that other than you're not spending your own ammo?
Oh, that's basically it right now. I was talking earlier. We do want to implement sort of a cost benefit around it. So then, if you use the enemy rifle, maybe they're twice as more powerful, but the longer you hold, the more damage it takes yourself.
Interesting.
But for now, they're just basically just weaker bullets with higher recoil.
I think the guns
know.
look cool.
They do, and you can see where the obsidian is like wrapped around it, so that's why you can't get to like the magazine, right? To reload it or whatever.
See, here's a point
Yeah,
where
it's
it
a cool
actually
gun.
makes a little bit of sense to pick it up because I don't have this unlocked yet. So we have an opportunity. You can't take these guns out of the level with you.
Yeah, I don't
What
think
the,
so.
what the hell?
You drop it?
Oh.
I don't know what I did, but yeah, I guess I dropped it. There you go.
Nice.
There you
Crack
go.
shot. Yeah, modders
So,
are freaking awesome. Demonic waffles. They're modders are putting stuff out so quick these days. It's crazy.
I think I'm gonna have demonic waffles for breakfast tomorrow.
Yeah,
my favorite.
I'll pass on the demonic part of it, but I love some waffles.
Oh man, who doesn't want demonic? Come on, demonic waffles are the best.
Come on, man.
It's a great name. Old Darth in chat says, Eddie Lee, hi there. Can you talk about the roadmap for the game a bit?
Sure. You know, I kind of chatted about this earlier about, you know, having this modular roguelike design allows you to just plug in new content pretty easily. So we did a vote on our Discord. I think the top 2 items that people want to see are more weapons and more levels and more items as well. So, you know, we have some stuff in the works currently. We hope to release it quite soon, like within like maybe 2 months of release, 1 or 2. And yeah, we just want to hear all the feedback. You know, we want this to be a living product. So, you know, whatever people feel like they want, like even things like VR settings, comfort settings, or you know things like that. We definitely want to keep improving the game.
Co-op multiplayer.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Multiplayer is tough. You
Yeah,
know,
I know.
you need a dedicated, you know, multiple network engineers and all that. But we're open to it. We just, you know, it's a roguelike too.
Got to sell some copies first.
Yeah,
right?
if you like this game, or if you think you want to play it multiplayer, buy it. Get so many games out there that they're like, well, fuck, now we have to add this
Another
thing.
one.
Well,
Let's
here
get
you
me
go,
on.
Eddie. Here you go, Eddie. Ben L of the Game Cat Army says, well, I'm convinced. I got it pre-ordered now. Thanks for the link, guys.
Oh, thank
you.
you, man.
All right,
you
so
go.
this, those of you wondering how you get the points to upgrade outside the level, when you talk to Samson, this is how you do it. Every time you kill an enemy, every time you free one of your fallen comrades, every time you even like open up some of these pottery and boxes, you collect souls. That's why you're here in the Sunken World, is to collect souls and free them. And this is how you do it. You'll come to these little stands, you place your hand over it, you free the souls, and you literally
That's how you level up.
Every time you level up, you get a point, and that's how it works.
And what the beauty is too is if you die, your souls drop, and now you got to go back in and try to get them before, and not die, because it's like Dark Souls. When you die the second time, it's all gone, and that's a very frustrating feeling You know what I mean? But
I love that though. Like
Yeah.
Elden Ring was like that too, right? Roots, you had to get your stuff before you're on your second try.
yeah.
Or even Saints and Sinners was kind of the same way, where your backpack would be there, remember? And you had to go get your backpack before you died again.
I don't think you lost the stuff though, but I think it's good. You have to lose it. There has to be some kind of a threat to dying. You don't want to die. You're gonna die and you're gonna lose your progress. And you only get so many continues, right? As far as you know, restart you, but you only die a couple times and then it ends the run. So.
Yeah, you definitely need to have a feeling of high stakes. Yeah, that's what makes the game interesting.
Yeah, I love that part of it. Yeah, I think we talked about this in CruCast the other day, but you know, roguelike or roguelike games. This is more roguelite than roguelike, but both of those types of gameplay I absolutely love. They're probably my favorite type of gameplay. But game companies can do them wrong all the time, and they're not easy to do. That's why sometimes they get a bad rap, and people are like, I don't like that type of game. You maybe don't like that type of game because you haven't played a good one. The ones that are done well, like this one, are extremely addicting. Like they have that just one more play field to them. Like once you get done and you lose and you need to go back in, you're like, all right, I'm gonna do just one more, and then you do it, you die again. You're like, all right, I'm gonna do just one more, and you keep doing that, and all of a sudden you just wasted 7 hours in VR headset.
Guido, the $10 super chat says, shout out to Eddie to take time out and do the show. Awesome to see and hear from a dev. Thank you. And then he did the praying hands, which is perfect.
Hell yeah. Eddie, I think you're the first. Is Eddie the first live dev we've ever had on a Strangers in the Night?
He is.
Live, yes.
Wow.
We've done pre-recorded before, but never live.
Yeah.
And he's the first dev to sit in on a real-time review.
He's the only one crazy enough to do it at 2 a.m. in the morning.
It's 11 p.m. here. It's not that bad.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, it's almost midnight for me as well. Yeah, Zim, thanks for stopping by and hanging out. Have a good night.
Absolutely.
Take it easy, Zim. Hopefully see you soon, brother. Gamertag had a question back up there. He says, Eddie, what's your sales expectations per platform?
Probably Quest 2 and PlayStation VR 2 probably be the leading ones. You know, our wishlist numbers, PlayStation VR 2 have been the highest. You know, so we're probably going to expect a lot from there.
Nice.
Unfortunately, Steam is usually generally lower than like the other platforms. I don't know why, but
Because
console.
PC's not as good as consoles.
Oh my God, Wes, you just missed everybody off.
There's just too many games on Steam, you know.
Yeah.
There's quite a lot, and I don't know. I'm very anxious though. You know, this is, Funktronic's been around for 10 years. You know, we made so many games. None of our games hit. You know, we made like critically acclaimed titles, but they all like allowed us to survive. We never had a game that we felt or that will to have hit in sales, and I feel like this is probably our best chance. You know.
I do too. This is an amazing game. I think it's going to do really well.
So I got
Appreciate
my
it.
first weapon upgrade here. This is a crystal. It's a crystal of war, which you can attach to the side of any weapon. I assume any weapon, and 2 more damage per shot. Ding.
Yeah, there you go. Heck yeah.
So is there? I mean, is there one slot on each side? It looks like to upgrade your gun.
What it looks like.
Just one.
Oh, just
You have
one.
a side slot and a charm slot.
Okay.
You know who else has a charm slot?
Yeah, you can call it what you want.
Oh. Eddie, is there any major difference between, say, the Quest version or the Steam version? Is there a graphical difference, and is it a major difference?
Yeah, the difference is purely graphical. You know, because the Quest 2 is a mobile GPU, we can enable things like shadows, HDR, and dynamic fog or volumetric fog. Unfortunately, that may change in future Quest versions, but we couldn't get it running at full frame rate on those versions, or on Quest 2. But PC and PSVR 2, we have everything cranked up.
Yeah, gameplay is
you-
all that matters, really. The biggest thing, right?
Yeah.
It just
Can
goes
you
to what goes back to what I was saying a moment ago that PC's awesome and Quest sucks.
Right, and PSVR 2 is the best.
Yeah. Eddie, can you show us your Quest 3 dev kit while you're there?
Yeah, that's correct.
So Super Sick Media says I just pre-ordered for the PSVR 2. Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Look
There
at
you
this.
go.
Look at this environment, people. So
Wow.
we're literally in moonlight now. All the fog's cleared up, but there's no light other than that shining off of the moon there, and it's beautiful. It's literally beautiful. I could just chill here if I didn't have some killing to do. Which I do.
Yeah, I love this level too. The next level after this one, you know, when you go into the next different type of area, I love it too. It's one of my favorites because you didn't feel it coming in the game. Like all of a sudden you're like, oh my god, this is completely different than the areas I was just in.
Crap.
So
What
you
comes up?
you guys did Fuji, and what was because all URS history is asking is if this is your first VR game. What other games have you done besides Fuji?
Our first VR game we released in 2016 is called Cosmic Trip, which is like StarCraft.
Yeah.
And then we made this like casual title called Starbreak Taxi, which is like Crazy Taxi in VR. And then Fuji, and then this is our fourth big title for VR.
Awesome. Gamertag wants to know what your preferred platform is out of the three. Eddie.
Can't we all just
Why-
get along, GT? Why you gotta be so divisive?
I like developing. I like doing Quest 2 on my PC, the Quest Link, because it's accessible for me.
Yeah. With Airlink or your link cable?
Oh, just my link cable.
Link cable.
You
Yeah.
know?
Mash, I don't ever, I can't remember. It's been 6 months since I've taken my cable out of my Quest 2. I just don't use Airlink anymore. And it's why it's so funny to me that people are like bitching about the cable for the PSVR 2. And I've been using VR for 5 years. I love wireless VR, but it really has not made a difference for me at all. I just like to have it powered up and not have to worry about the battery is the biggest thing. And it's just such a weird thing to me.
Have you ever used standalone VR in an empty factory?
No, I have not.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
It's amazing. It's
Yeah.
amazing just having the full freedom of just walking in a. Just imagine a football field. You could just walk anywhere. You know, it feels real. It's a big vibe. You know, I'd recommend trying once.
Yeah, I bet that'd be a big deal. But some people go to like basketball courts and stuff and do it that
Yeah.
way as well, right?
Yeah, when we get to our next topic, we're going to talk about modding and we're going to talk about the differences between link cable and Airlink playing a mod because I had some just drastically different experiences with the Quest 2.
I didn't even. This is my thing, dude. After I played it the first time with my Quest 2, and then I switched to the Rift S, I didn't play it with my Quest 2 again.
Yeah,
you know,
I still think the Quest 2. Still think the Rift S is a better headset for doing for playing mods.
yeah, because it's at 80 frames, right?
Yeah. Well, again, yeah, we'll get into it later. But I had issues. I had lots of issues that I had to work through with
What is that?
with the mod.
There's circles around this tree. I don't understand. I need to pray on it.
You can
maybe?
teleport up there, maybe.
Didn't do anything.
What is that? I don't know. Is that a bug? I've never seen that before.
I don't know.
It's super cool.
It's a cool
Oh.
bug.
It's a vibey, but it's weird.
Yeah, I'm getting lit up here. I gotta approach this a different way, I think.
So True Prophecy 22 wants to know if you can toss weapons between hands to have a better angle behind cover. I know you can switch hands. I don't know about tossing it.
That's not working.
Yeah, you can. You can. You can just throw a gun to your other
I
hand.
just died.
Oh no.
No, Wes.
Well,
That's
you
all right.
needed to
I
show
kinda-
him. You needed
I
to
kinda
show him a
wanted-
death.
Exactly. I
Yeah,
kinda wanted to
that's
show
your
him
first
this
one
anyway.
too, so you can come back in and that's cool.
So is it possible to, Kyler wants to know, do a no-hit run in this game? I'm assuming, you know, if you're really good,
Yeah, if
right?
you got
Cool.
good enough, it'd be tough though, because again, it's different every time. Like, not only are the enemies in different spots and the map's all different, but what your buffs are and what your your weapon upgrades are going to be, all different.
And they're crack shot. Like once they know where you're at, like you're gonna stick your head out thinking you're gonna pop a shot off and get hit and be like, son of a bitch.
All right. So
Or
here's the
somebody's
risk-
hitting you from a different angle.
Here's the risk reward after you die. So I'm going to go back in here, and my soul and all of my stuff, like Saints and Sinners, it's in here. I got to go collect it. If I get killed before I collect it, then it's game over. If I manage to collect it, I get to go on and I can die again and still keep going. But before you go and actually pick up your soul, you can see where all the enemies are. Like, everything's black and white, but you can see clearly where everyone's at. And there's an advantage to waiting a minute, but there's a risk to waiting a minute to pick it back up. So you kind of have to balance it out here and decide how risky you want to be.
Daniel Kaz wants to know if this is ever going to come to the Pico store. Is there any plans for that, or?
They reached out to us. You know, we said we want to focus on. We already have a lot of platforms that we're launching on, so we're saying we're going to probably resync after. But it does support the Pico 4 through Steam, so if you have one, you're set there.
Yeah, so if you got a Pico 4, get it from Steam.
There you go.
And All You Are Is History wants to know a personal question about you, Eddie. What is your favorite VR games?
You know what I think that is, Eddie? I think that's where the eagles are aiming for me at. Either that, or it's showing me where the bear traps are at, because I'm in the black and white thing.
Interesting.
Yeah. You can see where all the enemies and stuff are at. I think that's what that is. There was probably two bear traps around that tree earlier. That's the reason why I was seeing all that.
I will look into it tomorrow.
But here are bear traps that are
Not circled.
not circled.
So that theory just went out the window.
Well, this one is tripped and the other one isn't.
Hmm.
So maybe that's the difference.
To answer the previous question about VR games, I like Half-Life Alex. I liked Astro Bot. I thought it was really charming. I really like Moss too. This last year though, I haven't played a lot of VR games, to be honest, because all day I'm in VR, like 8 hours a day making this game. And then when I go home, I kind of just want to just relax my eyes for a bit. But I remember those 3 games in particular made a huge impact on me.
So let me ask you this. This is where my mind goes with that. And that means if you're, if you like gaming, you have to flat games sometimes, and because you're going to be tired of VR. Because I can only do so much VR in a day or in a sitting, and then if I still want to play something, I'm going to play something flat. And in my opinion, the best games that exist are flat because there's so much money put into them. But you play any flat games?
Oh yeah, I play all the Souls-like games, Dark Souls, Elden Rings, all the time.
Elden Ring. Oh, dude, that was the best game I've probably ever played.
I've been playing some old school, like Super Nintendo, Chrono Trigger.
Oh yeah, I used to love Chrono Trigger.
That's one of my favorite games. I'm kind of revisiting. I've been playing some games with my daughter recently. She's 3. Played Journey and Abzu. I don't know if you know those games, but
Yeah, we did Journey in VR actually early on in the channel.
Oh really?
Yeah, that was cool.
What? How?
Vortex.
Yeah. Yep.
I use Vortex. It's
Yeah.
It works?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it really was the magical journey. You know what I mean? It was cool. Yeah.
So for those of you who just noticed, what I did was I took the risky path, fought the enemies before I collected myself here, just so I could see where they're at and have a red mark to aim at. And now we've cleared the area, and we're
Get your
back
souls
to full
back.
strength.
And that is a risky thing because you do know where they're at, but at the same time, if you can get your souls immediately or as quick as possible, your run's it's not threatened. You're now safe again. If you die again, you're not gonna end the run. So makes a big difference, I think.
To crystallize. Now, I noticed this, Eddie, that some of these cards have 1 star, some of them have 2, some of them have 3. Is that like rarity?
Yes.
We'll take the rare cards every time.
Yeah.
Oh, Hades was amazing. That still is amazing.
That was a great one too. I just noticed that was on my PlayStation files in my PlayStation 5. I moved it over. I forgot I had that on PlayStation 5.
Yeah, because you bought it on the PC, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully that gets modded into VR sometime. That'd be cool.
Hades.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hades was so good.
I honestly think we're about 2 to 3 months away from pretty much every game being playable in some way in VR, whether that be on a 3D virtual screen or in full-on VR mode. But after this Brigade VR injector comes out, most games are going to be playable with just a plug-and-play app, no fuss, and that's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys saw Returnal came out today,
I know.
and like the Prey Dog mod already works perfectly with it right
I'm
out of the
so
box.
excited.
PD's playing it in Reshade. By the way, check out PD's channel tomorrow. He's going to have a full video tutorial up on how to play it in Reshade, and he says he's just awe-stricken by it. The scale of everything in that game to experience that inside the headset is it's really unique.
Well, that's what people were saying when I was talking to the Discord about Hogwarts and stuff, and they were downplaying playing it in VR today, and one of the channels, and like we experienced this with the Spider-Man mod, which you guys didn't get a chance to check out, but we played it on a flat 3D screen, and it was cool. But when you're in there and you're looking up at the buildings, same thing with Harry Potter, when you're seeing Hogwarts, the huge castle, and it's different. There's a big difference than playing it on a 3D flat screen, which is amazing, but you're kicking it up a notch. And I think when you get in that game, you're playing it in a way that it just is better than flat. And I love flat gaming. And what I said earlier applies a lot of times. I don't want to be in the headset for whatever reason, and so I'll play it flat. But I mean, the best experience I've had with most of these games has been in VR.
So Mash, do you remember when we met Jude right after the first level, and I
Yep.
had the choice to buy the health buff or get the homing shot charm?
You went with the homing.
I just found the homing shot.
Oh no.
No, I think he bought the health.
I bought the health.
Oh, I thought you went with the homing. You said because you were gonna need it, but then you ended up buying the health.
I ended up buying the health because my health was low. At
He
the
was
time.
almost dead. Yeah.
Right. That's when we saw the heart. Yeah, you're right. Okay, now I remember. Yep.
All right, so here we are. We're at another one of these soul collection things, and I could just dump all of my souls here. But again, we get back to the risk versus reward aspect of the game, because 2 of the buffs that I've chosen already from the tarot cards give me extra damage for every 1,000 souls that I'm carrying.
Oh.
So
Wow.
I could empty it now and play it safe for like the next run, or I could hold on to these souls
Wow.
and have more damage in the next room, which is what I'm going to do.
What a smart option to put in there, because that really is a risk reward. It's like, are you going to be put it all on the line to be more powerful, or do you want it to? Because I'm always going to take that. I mean, I don't think I ever passed one of those things and I didn't stick my hand on there because I don't want to lose my shit. But Wes is a little bit more risky, and that's cool.
Well, bro, I can't die before I get to the boss. You know what I'm saying? Which, by the way, this is the boss level. This is the chapel. So there will be a few loose enemies in here, loosies, if you will. But see, there's 3 of them up there. One of them will be a little bit more strong than the other 2 normally. 4 of them I see. And then we have to deal with the boss, which is he's a jerk. Let's take care of these dudes. I do like this level because of the elevation changes. Typically makes it easier to deal with these guys.
Traveling Man is back, and he's eating a jalapeno burger, and I'm jealous.
Yeah.
Sounds good. He's on his lunch at work. Well, we appreciate it, Traveling Man.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Thanks to everyone. I'm sorry I didn't have a chance to do a roll call tonight like we normally do, but we got started literally 30 minutes late, and our guest time is precious. So we'll say hello to the chat after.
Here is why you shouldn't go to school. If you go to
What the hell is that?
What was that?
That was weird.
Don't go to school, kids.
Don't go to school?
No, well,
That's
it
good.
is 2023. What
weird,
school
man.
are you talking about? If it's public school, I say don't go.
Don't go.
Don't go.
Bing, gotcha.
So
See
are-
your head. That's all you got to do.
Kyler wants to know: do specific classes have any perks, or is it just different weapons?
Yeah, each class has a passive perk. So I think the rifleman does extra crit on headshots. I forgot what the other ones does, but some of them have like magic buffs, some of them have movement buffs.
And if I understand how it works correctly, which I've never tried the other classes, so I don't know this to be true, but again, you're getting points to level up. Like you're getting upgrade points for every level that you pass, and by choosing a new class, the requirements to level up become lower. So it's a fast way to upgrade your weapons and your abilities. Am I right about that?
Well, when you start a new class, it kind of resets into their own tech tree.
I see.
There's
So right now the difficulty of the enemies are adjusting to my level. So if I go to scout level 1, are the enemies going to fall back to kind of like they were when I started the game initially?
no, the enemies do not adjust to your level.
Well, they don't.
Like the meta progression we have such that each class has its own tech tree, but there's also certain points. I don't know if you guys encountered the tarot card lady yet,
No.
but she allows you to upgrade elements that are universal across all classes.
Oh, that's excellent. I have not met her yet, but I'm going to be looking out for her. All right, so there's the jerk there. And I've seen a couple people handle this a couple of different ways.
Steve Martin.
I haven't seen anybody do the obvious thing yet, which is get in your shots while you can.
Yeah, shoot him right away, right?
See, I took
man.
him down a whole bar there before I even got into the danger zone. Most people I've seen playing this just charge right in. All right, now you got to take cover because this dude is a jerk. He's got homing shots and evil clouds. Alright, so we got 2 out of 4 bars down. You can see how many health bars they have by the dots next to it. Okay, so now he's shielded up. Crap. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. No, 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 no.
Oh no!
No. Alright,
You
I
got that
it.
health. Yeah, there you go.
I'm trying to get to where I'm not stuck and I keep teleporting.
Oh, do you have
Stop it.
virtual crouch
Yeah,
on?
he's sitting down. He's got a. Do you have virtual crouch on? I saw that there was an option for it.
Alright, so you gotta shoot those glass things out.
Something's hitting you.
But I'm gonna have to start busting these ammo boxes open.
So Wes, how many times did you die to this guy before you beat him, or did you beat him the first time?
I died the first time I saw him because I didn't understand certain things about him. It's like any old school gaming loop. You've got to trial and error a little bit to figure out what to do. Oh crap! I found an ammo. I thought I had him dead to rights there. Okay. Okay. If I don't get him down soon, I'm gonna have to go back in to get more ammo.
Does he heal himself or something?
Nice. Wow.
I thought maybe you died. I was like, oh god.
No. Now see what I would typically do here, and we're going to call it a stream here pretty soon. Well, not a stream, but we're going to move on to the next topic because, again, our guest has been very generous with his time. But what I would typically do here is I would break open all of these boxes, not only to get the ammo out of them, but they all, you'll notice that when I break them open, a little light flies out of them. Those are souls. So each one of these ammo boxes have souls in them that I can use to upgrade.
We try to make every action have some sort of souls, a little bit of dopamine hit
Right.
for everything you do.
Yeah,
So,
nothing's pointless. Everything matters. You know, even if you don't need the ammo, you're gonna open it up anyway, just because you want the souls, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So every one of your all's title has this certain kind of spiritualism to it, whether it be Cosmic Trip or Fuji, maybe not so much Strawberry Taxi, but this one as well. So my question to you is when you went to school, wherever you trained to become a game dev, how many mushrooms did you eat? Like it was a lot, right? I'm just joking. You don't have to answer that.
Not a lot of mushrooms, but I smoked a lot of weed. Like this game in particular, I was reading the Charge of the Light Brigade, like a really old poem, and then listening to like EDM music and just thinking about like Dark Souls and stuff and Stony Baloney as well. It just it came to me, it kind of came to me naturally, and it's kind of crazy that it started off as an idea, but now it's almost a shipped game.
You know, we typically don't cover games that we don't like. We're not a channel that just covers every game that comes out. So believe me sincerely when I say that I think you've got a special game on your hands here, something that's very unique and addictive. And I'm sure I've only played it on Steam, but I'm positive it's going to be awesome and do well on all major platforms. So kudos to you and your team. This is really it's really something good.
Yeah, thank you, man. I really appreciate it. It's honestly this game's been like 3 years in the making, and it's been tough. Coming in and out of COVID, we had to move offices and work from home. People getting in and out because they're getting COVID. And I had a daughter. It was probably the most intense development experience of my life, out of my 10. I guess the company's 10 years of existence, but. I think that's also what makes the game special too. The hardships that we endure to make this title.
So I just rescued another soldier because I beat the boss. That'll be someone else who will help me along my future trips through the Sunken World. And we've got some new buffs. So here we have. This is my favorite charm I've used yet, Bomb Shot charm. So what we're gonna do here, Bomb Shot. I'm going to drop it on the ground for a second. We're going to remove this one. I think I have to hit Y.
Oh no, it's a face button and then grab.
Right, there we got it.
Yeah,
so
there
I'm
you
going
go.
to take this charm. I'm going to just put it on my pistol. Is there a slot on the pistol?
Yeah, it's in the back.
Boom. So we'll keep that one when we need it. And we're going to put Bomb Shot on here. And I'm going to show you guys just a few seconds of the next level, and I'll show you what Bomb Shot does. Pretty cool. Alright, so we've got World's End, 1 bonus damage. See, I could keep stacking these. I just cleared my soul. But I could keep stacking that, which is what I think I'm going to do. We've already kind of sold out down that path, so we might as well just go all the way with it.
You know who else loves to go all the way, Wes?
My mom!
Oh, yeah, she does.
Anybody knows it's me, bro. So we're going to go ahead and charge this thing up here. I think we just pull the left trigger and it's charged up. There is a cooldown on it. You can't just use it constantly. But I'll show you guys what it does when we get into the next level.
So Roman Play says I was interested but unsure. The demo has me convinced. Can't pre-order because of other PSVR 2 priorities, but will 100% be buying it, streaming it, and shilling it.
Nice.
Thank you.
Love it.
Wow. Man, everyone's so nice and positive.
Well, I'll tell
crazy.
you what, our community is amazing. And they're just really good people, and they love VR, and they love good games.
Yeah, and that's the bottom line. This is a good game. You know what I mean? Like, you know, that you know, we don't ever sugarcoat it either. Like we wouldn't praise the game that it wasn't good. We just wouldn't talk about it at all. And you know, when we do praise a game, it means something. It's because it's something that we would want to go back and play. And our VR time is extremely limited. So if you see us going back into it, you know it's something special.
Thank you.
Former Jude, Souls Lot, what is that? Souls Echo? I don't know what any of this stuff is. Percent next shot blessed after damage. Bonus magic damage. Oh, you guys already know what I'm gonna do, right?
Of course.
That's like the fourth one of those I've had, I think. Yeah, 28.
Wow.
So GB wants to know, can you ask him if a volume slider specifically for gunfire could be added in? Shooters always force me to use suppressors or turn down the main volume, or my tinnitus kicks in.
We currently don't. Not at least not for launch. I mean, we certainly can add it in.
Well, there's some audio options here. So you can turn down like the sound effect volume, and that would turn the gun effects down. I mean, it'll turn some other stuff down too, but
Well, this is
Yeah.
one of the things that Eddie said at the beginning of our covering this,
well, wait
is
a minute.
that it's one of the biggest things that they want to do is listen to the community, and so definitely let them know these type of things, and if it's something they can do or feel inclined to do, they're gonna do it, which is one of the things we say all the times is the good devs listen to the community, and they shape the game and they make it even better. So that's really cool.
So these golden boxes, these lock boxes, have really awesome things in them.
Yes.
And typically on your way through a run, you'll find a key in a box or something, but I didn't find it this time. And I'm assuming it's your fault, all of your fault.
It's all of our fault. Well, the good
Keeping me
news, Wes.
distracted.
Well, the good news is this is not the run you want to find the key, because you're not going to be playing that much longer anyway.
Oh, dude, I've got like 28 health and a bomb on my gun. I'm not turning this game off. I'll stop.
Oh, you.
He's
Green.
gonna
As soon as we go off the air, I'm picking this back up. We're gonna keep going. I'm gonna go kill that second boss. Make him look like a fat fool.
Yeah, we have keys that spawn pretty rarely in the game, you know, and the cost is that they take an inventory slot.
Oh, okay. So you got to make sure you got spot for them.
But right now, there's like not a lot of items. I mean, there's items that you can have, like grenades and health packs and all this other stuff. But you know, I think in the future, as we add more items, I think that like kind of decision of like what you want to carry forward would be much more interesting.
So now we're moving into the necropolis, ladies and gents, and it's a completely different mood than all these frozen mountains and things we've been going through before. This is a whole new biome.
So Goner Gaming says this is the game I'm most excited for.
Nice.
Look at all these enemies. Look at all these enemies. I might just die here, but I do want to show you all that there is some variance in enemies. So we're going to fight a couple of them, and then we'll call it a stream.
How many bosses are there in the game? All URS history wants to know.
It's currently 3.
Ooh, bomb shot, son. They've got grenades. Jerks.
So what does that attachment do, Wes, that you picked up? What was?
Did you see the bomb I just hit that dude in the head with?
No, I did not.
Alright, give me, I don't know, the cooldown isn't that long. I'll show you in a second. so I think I can charge it again now. All right, see how I primed the charm there,
Mhm.
Ruuts?
Yeah.
Now watch. Find a guy. See how the first shot exploded in his face?
Yeah.
That's what bomb shot does. It's very useful against stronger enemies. Where's this guy at over here?
There's also magic that we haven't even seen anything of, right? Like
Yeah,
you-
I haven't even unlocked the magic wand yet. Like, it's still... You know, you guys know me. I'm a long distance sniper. This game started me out on my favorite thing. So, like...
Well, the
So I haven't
sniper, the
even
actual
thought of it.
sniper gun is supposed to be the best one, from what Eddie was saying, right? Or at least your
Yeah,
favorite one.
I'm looking forward to that one too.
Yeah, it does so much damage. But remember, there's only six ammo in one Kar 98 cartridge, so you gotta hit every shot, or else you'll suffer.
That's not a good gun for me. It's a good gun for Wes. Wes is crack shot. He's gonna hit him anyway.
Mhm.
Now, if I got a sight on there, like the laser sight of the holographic, I think I could do well. But for me, it's like hard to line up the iron sights. I always end up missing, and it's
the
one of those
fluids
things you don't
jump
have all
up.
the time in the world either. You're usually moving, so
You see that? I killed one guy. He dropped a grenade and killed the guy next to him.
nice.
It's awesome.
What is this? Oh, it's the decoy. So I haven't used one of these before. I've seen them. I think I'm going to use it here just so you go and see what it does. And find where these guys are at. Where are you at? Instead of shooting me. And I'll come up behind them and end their miserable existence. With a bomb. Cooldown hasn't ended yet.
GT says he just benched 1,000 kilograms for 15 reps while listening to one of the best podcasts in VR. It is a good day.
Yeah, is that a lot in kilograms? I don't even know. What the hell is kilograms?
It must be. Have you seen his guns,
Like-
dude?
How many is that in pounds? Is that like 50?
220.
Is that two? I was gonna say, is that gotta be a
220.
lot?
Yeah, it's impressive.
GT,
dude.
how many times can you bench your own weight? That's like supposed to be the thing, right? You got to be able to like do your own weight like so many times.
They say if you can do your own weight, well, I don't even know what it used to be. Like once, you're good.
Once?
I don't know. Maybe that's not
I could bench past GT like 500 times.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't bench press 200 pounds a bunch of times, but you know what? I've got a safe, and it's got like 10 of these in it, so I don't need that. All right, so we'll put the card here, and then we're gonna call it a stream and move on to the next game. We're gonna take Twilight because it has two. It needs to have one.
Oh, I thought it was because you like the movie Twilight. Now let me ask you this, Wes. Are you Team Jacob or Team Edward or Team Bella? Everyone always leaves Bella out, man. I thought she was the most badass in the end.
I'm Team Daryl Dixon.
Oh yeah, me too.
What? Where? Who? Who's Bella?
Twilight. Oh, you know who? Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
We're gonna leave it paused here. We're definitely gonna pick this run back up after the show because I've got nearly 30 health and my favorite charm. Anyway, that's the Light Brigade, ladies and gents. Again, there are links in the description to pre-order. You want to pre-order if you want to get that discount. 1 week from the day it launches. Awesome. I'll be right back on camera, guys.
All right.
Very cool.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was a great run.
Yeah.
It was. It was. I've had better runs. No, I'm just kidding. But that's what's great about this game is like you're like I want to beat that run, right? Like I'd almost like to see you guys maybe put a leaderboard in at some point and like give points or score or something. That would be cool. Because
Yeah.
I would like to. I want to beat Wes. I want to like do better.
You could have a timing too, right?
Yes, you could speed run this. You could do like Fract. The game Fract is a very short game. The game's like 3 hours long, but what they did to try and help it like seem longer is they put like the one shot one kill mode in, where you have to move super slow because if you get one hit, you die and you start over again. like it was like an Iron Man mode or something. It was super cool. But yeah, there's a lot you could do here, Eddie. I mean, you guys are gonna have a lot of fun adding to this game. I can tell.
Yeah, for sure. We have a lot of ideas. We are curious to hear what most people wanted, though. I'm going to guess probably a lot of people are going to say multiplayer.
Yeah, right.
It's going to stress me out. But, but hey, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, multiplayer, we always say we want multiplayer, but sometimes certain games it just doesn't really work in or make sense. And, you've got to like weigh those things out. And number one, how hard they are to do. And number two, does this game make sense to be multiplayer? Because even though we all say we want it, if you put it in and it doesn't make sense or it doesn't work, like this, roguelite, you don't see many roguelites that are co-op. I mean, you
Yeah.
could do them, but like you have to one of our favorites is Returnal, right, Roots? But the co-op for Returnal, we kind of didn't really get into as much as we thought we would because of the sharing aspect of your perks in the game.
I agree. I think people conflate like the feeling of wanting to play co-op and the feeling of like social presence. I think you could have a game that feels like you're together and with a big community without having people being like synchronously with you. And with our game, we want to lean pretty heavily on like the asynchronous stuff, like the Dark Souls kind of, like blood splat stuff. And, because once we go down the synchronous multiplayer route, then that's like a whole like tech, non-trivial technical like thing that we have to do. Which I don't even, it's not clear to me if it's like the right path, like you said, or if it's, really valuable that way, even though that's what people think they want.
Right. Yeah, and that's a lot of it is what people think they want, and they find out that they don't. There's a single mode, right? Or a mode that's a single run. What was the name of that one you mentioned earlier?
Global Sun Run.
Yeah, the Sun Run.
Global Sun, yeah.
Yeah, that's what GT was
cool.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tex says he just played Returnal for the first time today and he's lost. I'll tell you what,
That's what I was laughing at.
It's a hard game to at first. It really is, but you get stronger as you go and you learn, like you'll be good. It's probably one of the best games I played on the PlayStation 5.
Haven't played it yet.
Oh, that's really good.
Oh yeah, it's a really good game. I can't wait to play it in VR. I don't think I would go back to it flat now. I think I'm just ready to wait and play it in VR because it's coming. What platform it's going to be on, I really have a feeling we're going to see it on PlayStation VR too.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely going to be playing it on the mod when it drops for PC. I love Returnal. It's definitely one of the, like I said, Elden Ring and Returnal were probably my two favorite flat games in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Eddie, everybody's saying how much they appreciated having you in tonight, and I appreciate having you in tonight too. And we're not done with you yet, man, because on March 2nd, you're going to come in and hang out with me and Todd and D over on Q2C VR Gamer, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we're going to do it again, and there's going to be a lot more stuff. We're going to cover a whole bunch of different stuff too, so we're kind of not going over the same stuff. So it'll be a lot of fun for that one too, everybody. If you want to come in and join us for that one, the PlayStation will be out at that point, and a lot of people will have played it by then to get a good idea. And I think that's probably what we'll probably focus on more. Will be the PlayStation at that point because I'll be in it for sure. I'll have a lot more time in it.
Yeah, looking forward to it. I think, once the game launches, there's probably gonna be a lot to talk about, our experience and all that.
Yeah. Well, you know what? And all these people here that are in chat or the people that will be in the Q2C VR Gamer chat will have a chance to have played it by then too. And I'm sure they'll have, different, vantage points of how they or questions they might want to ask too. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
A lot more to come on this game after next week, because after next week we're going to be playing it on a new platform with new features, and again, I'm very much looking forward to that. I'm digging it on my old Rift S right now. Like I can only imagine what it's going to be like in that new headset with the extra resolution, with the the HDR and the wider field of view. Not to mention all the haptics and things you talked about earlier. Man, looking forward to continuing to play this. I don't
Slum it,
suppose.
slumming it
I
on
don't.
PCVR, man. That's crazy. PlayStation VR
Um,
2 is where it's at.
someone may have already asked you this, Eddie. Are there any plans on the roadmap to implement like cross save? Like we recently heard that The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners are trying to implement cross saves across platforms, so you can take your progress and your character with you no matter where you're playing. Have you looked at anything like that?
Oh, you're saying that I could stop playing on my PSVR 2 and then go play on my Quest 2?
Precisely.
Wow. Okay, I didn't even know that was possible, like legally possible with.
Yeah, you can do it now. It's probably unlikely for a studio of your size to do it. Typically, it involves you know you have to run servers, right? Everyone has to have their own unique ID
Yeah.
within your ecosystem so that they can take it and plug in whatever platform that they're using. So I already knew the
Yeah.
answer to that question before I asked it, but I knew people were going to be curious about that. So yeah.
I mean, we're open to it. I honestly don't think it's that hard. I just think like AAA games have a different like set of features that they have access to than our
Right.
size.
Yeah, that's totally understandable. At any rate, thank you for your patience. We've been going a while now, and even longer when you consider our long setup time. Very much appreciate you coming here and speaking with us, chatting with the viewers, and letting them know what they can expect 1 week from the night when this thing launches. Thank you, Eddie.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And yeah, have a good rest of your night and stream.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah.
Man.
Congratulations, Eddie, and congratulate the team, man. You guys have killed it, and I think you're going to see a lot of success with this game.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, have a
Reconnect
good
on
night.
March 2nd. See ya. Bye.
Absolutely. See you then.
Well, Roots, you said it before, and I think it's true now. We did it.
We did it.
We did it! I'm
And
trying
you
to.
guys don't know what a clusterfuck of a mess that was. Like literally, I was still sitting in this chair instead of my VR chair over there, with these headphones that are literally tethered to my PC with a 6-foot cable, and talking through this microphone. But and to get game audio, I was just using the Rift S onboard audio, which I can do because the microphone was actually away from me. So it worked.
Yeah. Well, as long as it worked, right? That's all that matters.
Anyway, and it was a learning experience too, because now I know why the initial sound capture didn't work. I just didn't have time to go through the steps to fix it on the air, but I know how to avoid this problem in the future, and that's more valuable than any of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to figure out where this okay, overlays, pictures. Okay. Try to get the thing switched over real
Try to
quick.
get the 3-man overlay.
Yeah. Before
Do
I
you need me to
switch it over.
send you the right one?
No, I got it. I just had to, I couldn't remember exactly where it was at.
Wes, I've got a gripe.
Well, let's hear it.
Is there an HR somewhere group that I can talk to for virtual strangers that you keep getting to fucking play all these games and I have to sit here and watch you play all these
Hey,
games?
now listen. When we started doing these, I tried to get you guys to play them, and you're always like, "You go, you go, you go." You
I know.
absolutely can play, man. If you want to,
Yeah, that was cute in the beginning. I want to play games now.
all right, I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Well,
Only
how about this? Let's do next one. We should do a co-op one or something that we can do like Ruuts, because Ruuts likes to man the board. You got to have somebody. Here's the thing with doing this: you can't have all three of us in there. It just doesn't kind
Right.
of work that way. You got to
we
have
did that.
somebody.
We did do that though. We did
We
it.
did.
We did it with, was it Gambit? We did that with.
We
I think
did. That
so.
was fun too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did
Yeah.
switch over scenes because I found it.
But yeah,
Anyway,
I would like to do. We should do that next. We should do a co-op or something we can all get into. That'd be fun.
that would be great. Except for the fact that next week is PSVR 2.
No.
So
We're going to play. We're going back into play Survive. Forget about PlayStation VR.
drop
Yeah.
dead the cabin.
I think this
I
would
was
be
in
a
there
good
tonight.
It would be a perfect opportunity to have Eric stream What the Bat and have me and Wes
I would
talk.
do it. I would. No, actually, I've already played it. I want Ruuts. I think Wes, this is the time we get Ruuts in there. We have Ruuts. Me and you will commentate. We'll have Ruuts play What the Bat.
I'll
Split
bat
stream.
it up.
Quest on one
What's-
side,
Oh, I love it.
PSVR on the other side.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
and I'll be in chat commentating while you guys play.
There you go.
it's the way to do it.
I like
Now,
it.
tune in next week while we ignore Horizon and Resident Evil and instead play What the Bat.
Play what the
Yeah.
bat.
Well, it
All
is
right, guys
game of
in
the
chat.
year.
There's like a whole bunch of people in chat. Let's get a vote going. Do we want to see Wes and Ruuts play what the bat on PlayStation VR 2?
That doesn't matter if it's unanimous. We're not doing that.
Mm.
Anyway, let's talk about this week's other title because we had a chance to do something very special, and that is to play the current sensation in flat gaming in full VR, thanks to a hasty mod on the part of Luke Ross. I am, of course, talking about Portkey Games' Hogwarts Legacy, which launched, I think, 3 days ago for the general public, and 3 days prior to that for the weirdos that bought it, pre-ordered it like Roots here. Yeah, man, it's an interesting thing because typically Luke Ross takes some time to bake these things a little bit, to polish them up, and take a lot of the work out of it for the end user.
Oh, hey, we're back. And I'm not back on the Discord, so they can't hear me. But hey, what's up, everybody? I'm here. I did it.
I did it! Oh my god, let me see if I can get back in here. Can you guys hear me?
Okay. What is happening here? Yeah, my internet just went down, and I don't know why. I'm just going to close Discord out and then reopen it because I can't seem to. What the hell is happening here? There we
Because
go. Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm back.
Hey.
I was just talking to
There you
the chat without you guys. So yeah, that was
Oh, did
interesting.
we go live? Were we talking live?
No, they didn't hear anything that you guys were
Oh,
saying.
okay.
If you guys said anything,
Oh, we were saying such bad stuff about the chat.
oh,
Yeah,
I'm
how-
sure those
how-
jerks.
How 30 people left us because we were buffering.
Did they really? Did everybody just jet? I'm out.
All the good people stayed.
That's
No, I'm
true.
just kidding.
Well, we appreciate you guys, and so I guess you didn't get too far into it then when it froze up.
All right, so basically what I was talking about is we now have a Luke Ross mod for the newly released Hogwarts Legacy, which has been out for a few days now for the general public, and then a few days prior for those who pre-ordered. But this isn't your typical Luke Ross mod where you basically just run the exe and it mods everything for you. This is Luke Ross mod that was hastily released in an effort, we think, to just kind of be first to the market. And unlike the previous real mod Roots, this is more of your typical old school VR modding where you're copying and pasting files into the game files. So it's a bit different, isn't it, than your typical Luke Ross experience?
Yeah, because usually you've got some kind of a configuration file that you click on, and like you run the exec file, and it just kind of does everything for you, right? And not only that, but adjusting the resolution is a little bit more, takes a little bit more than normal, right? And so I mean it's not bad. I just saw that I wasn't connected, but that was my old thing that I just picked. But yeah, so but it was definitely more difficult than normal, but it was well worth it. I mean, like even to the file that you had to change the name of it to get the game to actually show up. And my biggest thing that I had the problem with, and I think I told you, Eric, about it. I'm not sure, but I was streaming this. This is my stream here, and if I was to fast forward about an hour and a half, there was a point where my screen was just black for a while, and I happened to look over, and people were like, "Oh, I sounds like he's attacking a wolf," and all we see is a black screen. I don't know how long it was like that. I mean, I guess I could go look at the video, but so what happens is when you get to certain areas and you teleport, it resets everything, like the resolution, all that shit. Well, what it also reset was the box that you check to stream it to OBS. You have to click a box at the bottom of the mod, and so it just like shut it off. Now, this is one of the things you get with a mod that's hastily pushed out, but it's not that big a deal. I mean, if you're not streaming it, it really wouldn't even matter. Yeah, it's just one of those things I'm looking forward to him fixing soon. So
So yeah, not only is the mod a little bit more to install than the typical real VR mod, but there's still a lot of polish that typically Luke Ross puts into his mods before he releases them. But again, when you release a mod on launch day, a lot of that stuff goes out the window. Now he has updated it a couple times and fixed a few of the issues, but we're still pretty far away from the typical quality that we see from a real VR mod. Um, Eric, it's a bit raw, isn't it?
It's rough. Yeah, I mean, but again, I mean, everybody wanted this. I understand why he did it. You know what I mean? You want to get it out there as soon as possible. I mean, he literally had it out because he had access. He had the early access, the first 72 hours, like any of the people who got the access to the game early. So literally, guys, he had this freaking mod done in like a couple of days, and it's done. Once you get everything done, it's done really, really well. Now, there is some issues in getting everything done. It's a little bit harder. And then, I'll talk a little bit about maybe more in a little bit, but I had issues with different types of headsets and the things I had to use. So it wasn't just putting the mod in. I think it's not optimized for everything. So there's definitely issues. But when you get it dialed in, and it did take me a little while, but when you get it dialed in, it's phenomenal, man. It's one of the best experiences I've ever seen in VR. And this is early. Like they're going to be, you're going to, it's going to get better, and then you're going to see other, types of mods for this game too. So, I mean, if you're a Harry Potter fan, this is like a dream come true.
yeah,
So the way I would describe it, Roots, in the state that it's in today, and what Eric said is absolutely true, that this is it's only going to get better. And it's pretty good after you get everything dialed in and running well.
Mm.
But the way I would describe it right now is an average VR mod for an exceptionally awesome game. This is an excellent game, Roots. If you're a fan of Harry Potter, like this is like being in a Harry Potter movie, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to tell people in the chat. They were like, I've played Harry Potter games in the past. I don't like them. I haven't either. I've never played one that was actually good. They all kind of stupid. This isn't like a true open world adventure, and it's got so much to it. Like you can go in any direction, you can do it all in whatever order you want as far as like the questing. I mean, obviously if you get a quest that's you're not high enough level for, it's locked. But there really is no limitation as far as where you can go or what you can do. And what I think is the best thing is the wand play is so amazing that the combat feels so good. And especially as you get different abilities and you unlock stuff, you feel like a badass. And it's not easy either, man. Like you get into battles where you're fighting like 15 things and they're all teleporting all over the place, and each one of them, some of these enemies are harder. They've got like shields around them, and only certain spells will break those shields. And so you kind of have to use your mind and your intelligence as far as knowing what you can do and what you can't. And it's just got so much depth. I mean, I think I'm probably 16 or 17 hours in, and
Wow.
I don't feel like I've scratched the surface. I mean, I do. I'm like level 17 or 18, but the story is getting phenomenal. Like I'm now like going into places, and I'm like really looking forward to seeing what's going to happen and where I'm going. And I just I feel like this is definitely, for as much controversy around this game, which is so weird, it's just one of the best games I've played in a long time.
Eric, the way they intro this game, there's an hour to 90 minutes of story-driven gameplay before you even get to Hogwarts, and by the time you get to school, you're hooked already, right?
It's one of the best intros of a game I've ever seen. If you're gonna go through a tutorial or a beginnings of a tutorial, this is the way to do it, man. Like I had no idea at first. Like when like you guys were telling me, because you guys jumped in here before I did, and when you guys were telling me, like, yeah, I mean, this is a little bit. It takes a little bit to get into. Like I didn't understand that I was gonna be playing for over an hour, and then I would hit a title screen. Literally, that's what happens. You're 60 to 90 minutes in of this like edge of your seat, all exploration and action and like awesome cutscenes and great voice acting. You're that far into it, and then you get a cutscene, a title screen and a cutscene, and you see Hogwarts Castle for the first time after you've already been on this like roller coaster ride. And I was like, holy crap, man. I mean, I was not looking forward to this game. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, but I wasn't like looking forward to this game or wanting to play this game until today, until I got in and did it in VR. And now I don't know what I'm going to do because I have PlayStation coming next week, and I want to get back in and do this. I want to play this whole game now. Like the story has already got me hooked with this hidden or forgotten magic that they're trying to find, and all these goblin rebellion, and I'm all like into it now. I don't know what I'm going to do.
So we dropped a key in the chat for those who were patient enough to hang with us through our technical difficulties. PSVR North America key Wanderer. Somebody grab it up.
Oh shit.
History says somebody already got it.
What is it? What game was it?
Wanderer.
Oh, nice. I'll tell you what.
Freaking great key, dude.
Yeah, it is. I just got my chat back. I thought it was dead. I was like, man, there's nobody talking. And I guess when I disconnected, it froze or something. But yeah. And there was more people in there than I thought. I thought, man, there's not anybody here right now. What are we talking? We're talking to ourselves or something.
This techno glitch got the key.
Of course,
Congrats,
Tech got it.
Oh
yeah,
my
of
god,
course,
he's the
right?
best.
Well, I'll tell you
He's
what.
quick.
When Anthony used to drop them in the chat like that, and for VR 365, if it was a full code, I got it like 98% of the time, and I felt so guilty. I stopped claiming them because I was really quick at copy pasting. So.
GB in the chat says, I don't even have PC VR, and I've been excited about Hogwarts VR. You should be. And, we can call it an average VR mod, but there are things about the way the game is structured itself that makes it pretty well suited, even for a third-person VR game. For example, the way you aim to shoot your spells, it's gaze-based, right? It just works in VR. The things that you look at are highlighted, and then you just pull the trigger and you shoot your spell out. I mean, it's a pretty fortunate piece of happenstance for us VR gamers, right, Roots?
Yeah, absolutely. And it took me a little bit of time to figure that out. I thought I was trying to aim like I did because I played the game for 3 or 4 hours flat. So I was thinking I was trying to use the joysticks to aim, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. And then I realized, oh my God, it's aim gazed or gaze based. I still think I was telling you guys this. I would be shocked if the Prey Dog mod doesn't end up letting you use your. I guess it was at some point somebody's going to put hand presence in there.
Yeah.
Because
I had so much fun with the gamepad though, dude. I really did.
Well, that's the thing is like this game was so good, and if a game's good enough, it doesn't matter if it's third person. It doesn't matter if it's a gamepad. I say it all the time. We use gamepads our entire lifetime, and it's intuitive, and the way they set this up, it's everything is so perfect. There is one other gripe I have, and hopefully Luke will fix this. Teleporting on the map, like it's so easy to fast travel when you're playing flat because you just find the flues that you've opened up, the green flames.
Right.
It's so difficult to use that map in the VR mod because it's not optimized for it. Like
I'll say this, shortly before we went live with tonight's episode, Luke Moss updated the mod, and now most of those world markers in the map should appear where they belong.
What?
Wow, that's helpful.
I even looked before and I didn't see that he. Oh my God, he's on 8.4. It was on 8.2 or 8. Wait, no, that's something else. Never mind here. Yeah, no, it's on 4.3. Yeah, so it was 4.2, and you're right. So that's cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Already
Yeah.
fixed.
That's
So
good.
this is what we have to look forward to. It's only going to get better. It's only going to get easier to install, but it's already great. The story, for those of you who are wondering, it's very reminiscent of a Harry Potter story. You play the role of a gifted student coming to Hogwarts for the first time, maybe a little older than typically a typical student would be. But some things happen on your way to Hogwarts that kind of throw you off track, and you find the character that you're playing is gifted in certain forms of magic that allows you to do and see things that regular wizards can't, much like Harry Potter. There's also a big bad that's super powerful. That's also after this magic and these abilities that you have. Again, much like a Harry Potter story. Although this time it's a bit interesting, Eric, because it's goblins instead of like actual like dark wizards. It's a dark goblin, and you'll remember from the movies, goblins can possess some pretty powerful magic as it is.
Yeah, I mean, you find out really early on, like, you know, one of the one of the goblin badasses is like way almost way more powerful than you know one of the great wizard that you're with. So, yeah, I mean the whole story here has got me kind of wrapped up. You know, we're you know the game itself is going to be great. I mean, we're here to kind of talk more about the mod, but the game itself, like Roots, I see why you're like getting into this now. I can see why you've got this many hours into it. Like, you know, I started playing this game around 2:30 or 3 o'clock this afternoon, and man, I didn't want to stop several different times, and you know, and I had some issues where I had to try different headsets and different ways to hook the headsets up. But once I got all again, well, I said it before, once I got all through all that, and you're just in and enjoying the game and being in that world, man, that scene where you walk into the hall where they, you know, where they the whatever they call it, the great hall where they eat and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, when you go in there, when you're in it, it's not the same being on a flat screen when you can be in it and you go through it, or you're in the, you know, the Gryffindor common room and you can feel the size of it. Like when you watch it on a movie, you know, you're seeing a small piece of it. Here, you're in it and you can turn around, you can see the height and the size of the fireplace that's in the common room is just it's awe. Is you look at it and you're like, holy crap, this is what it should look like. Man, it's just the game itself is crazy good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what, Roots, as awesome and well produced as the story segments are, I have almost no hope of progressing through it because you know me, I'm a hopeless explorer, and there are hidden pages all over this place, hidden chests, there are puzzles. I mean,
Dungeons.
Hogwarts,
You haven't
yeah,
even found any of the
dungeons.
dungeons or anything.
Yeah, Hogwarts is a huge place full of secrets, and I'd say half of my gameplay time was just spent pursuing that stuff. Just like running around, finding butterflies and pages flying around everywhere. Like the actual story campaign, it was kind of secondary with the way that I play.
Well, they say there's like 24, 25 hours of gameplay, and that I believe is just if you don't even pay attention to the side shit. You just go mainstream, you know, and you try to get all the main quests. One of the things that blew me away just today when I was playing it, it really just made me think, is I was coming back from I had to go somewhere really far away for a quest, and I was coming back, and I'd ended up teleporting to Hogsmeade. I think it's one of the places I find it easier to get to with the map the way it is or was, and so I had to fly from there to Hogwarts, and I was just noticing, like like when they go there and stuff, you have no idea where in proximity where is this next to Hogwarts. You know what I mean? Like this lays it all out, so it lets you feel like okay, it's actually really close. I mean, you could probably walk there in 20, 30 minutes maybe, you know, if it was for Harry Potter or whoever, but I always assumed it was further away. And so like it gives you an idea in being in that world of seeing how everything really is actually laid out. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, and it's great because again, just like a Harry Potter movie, as soon as you make it to school, they sort you into your house.
Did you
And
get Slytherin?
I'm a Gryffindor.
Oh
Yeah, me too. I
Hell
didn't even have
yeah.
to do the thing. I just got it off the bat Roots.
Really? Oh man,
Did.
for whatever reason that maybe it knew it really did try to put me in Slytherin.
Yeah, I answered the questions and it put me in Gryffindor. But it's cool because they don't try to pigeonhole you into that character class, even after you choose it, because some of your attributes get decided in the company you keep. And I'm a Gryffindor, but my best bro right now is a Slytherin. Did you pick up with the Slytherin guy or the or the girl that you learned the Accio spell with?
I mean I kind of hung out with both of them, but I've been hanging out with the guy a lot more, and it's cool because like you said, you kind of it kind of gives you options, you know, which ones you want to who you want to spend time around. and I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, some of them play it by the book and take a more academic approach, and then there are others who are not afraid to bend the rules, and that can be advantageous at times. So again, even though you're kind of put into this class, you still have a lot of leeway as to what direction you go. Much like Harry Potter, I try to walk the line.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Sometimes you have to break the rules a little bit.
Yeah, man, for sure. Sometimes you just have to stream with your regular microphone and your regular headphones to get the job done.
That's what I did. I think I did that with one of the times I did with Harry Potter, and I can't remember why. But that's another thing, like I haven't been streaming VR very much because I if I'm gonna spend a lot of time in VR in a game, I want to really be into this game. And so like this was a game once I've played it in VR for the first time. I was like, I can't go play it flat now, but I still want to stream it. And so I really enjoyed streaming it. And that's what I was saying in the Discord. I'm guarantee I'll feel the same way about Returnal. And
Yeah.
because that game is just so good. And so it's kind of opened back up for me streaming VR again. Although, I mean, I can only take so much, 4 or 5 hours or whatever. I can't marathon it like Eric does.
So Johan's joining us in chat. Says Sweden loves VR. Well, VR loves Sweden too. There are some amazing studios in Stockholm.
Yeah.
Fast travel games, not the least among them. There are a few there. Resolution games, I think, as well. So yeah, it's certainly an accurate statement. Sweden does love VR.
What did you guys think about the wand play? Did you get too much into the spells and stuff, or?
Oh, that was pretty cool. I made it far enough to like fill up my my quick choice meter. I don't have a bunch in my back pocket to switch to, but I've got 4 on my meter ready to go.
Have you unlocked many skills? Because one of the things that you unlock is like, so what it does is you hold down I think it's the right trigger, and then if you push up, down, or to the right on your gamepad, it unlocks another set of 4, and so you'll be switching between 4 different sets. Like I have one that's set up as a like a utility. You got your one that repairs or whatever, and then got attacks, and then I started running into a point where I'm like, well, fuck, now I've got more attacks than I have spots for. And like I said, you get to places where certain things have to have they're affected by different things. Or you'll find that, okay, if you with the fire, if you get them on fire and then you hit them, that'll actually make them explode. Or there's one that freezes things. Like it just really gets into so much options on how you want to play. So I guarantee everybody's game play is going to be different because everybody's going to gravitate towards different spells, right? So it's just super cool.
I want to just learn the damn lockpick spell. Like there's so many doors and chests that,
and it's not wasted either. Like I've got the first one, the lockpick one, and so like I'm going into all sorts of houses or chests or whatever. And the way that and this is my biggest tip I give you guys: sell your shit. Don't destroy it. You need the money, and don't ever let your thing get completely full because you only have so many slots. And once you get to so many slots, all your slots are full. You'll open a chest and nothing will be there. Now, don't worry, it's still going to be there if you come back when you have spots for stuff. But when you come back, if you've leveled, the gear isn't going to be as good as it was because now you've leveled up higher, and that was like a level 8 slot when you were there. Now you're level 16. You're going to go back and it's going to be level 8. Now it's still going to be money, but you're constantly upgrading your gear. And what's cool is your gear changes. Like at one point I had a cool top hat. You know what I mean? Ooh. Like, and so like, or like the wizard's hat, or like all these different gear really does change your character and the way he looks, or she, if that's who you chose, or Z, if that's how you go. But it just I just was really cool aspect of the game. That's why one of the reasons why I like it being in third person. I like to see my character, as I'm changing and looking different, and the costumes are cool.
So Mr. X just joined us in chat. Welcome. Says, how's the Light Brigade looking? Be sure after we end the episode that you scroll back to the front because we put a pretty good run into it.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, it's awesome. Really good.
Yep.
So you guys are way ahead of me in this game. I'll just talk to you about that real quick. So, as far as I got, because of the issues I had and the things I wanted to test out, I got to just past when you start going to classes.
Mm.
That's about as
Uh,
far as I got. So I didn't experience a ton of the game after, like, getting into the Hogwarts, but it was some. I was able to get through maybe a few things that can maybe help people when they're going to do the mod, or hopefully they'll work on them or fix them. But I mean, until that point, there was some issues that I wanted to work through with even just with Oculus and trying to get see what was going to run best with my Quest 2 headset.
Yeah, I played around a little bit with the the upscaling technology. It defaults to DLSS, and typically in these mods, DLSS breaks a lot of them. But I found it to be the best option, honestly. DLSS quality mode worked better than FSR, worked better than having it turned off. Everything looked pretty good, other than there's a little bit of ghosting around the characters. Did you notice this kind of blurry ghosting roots around these character models?
Yeah, that's the 3D method, the
Right.
AER, and
Yeah.
usually he'll find. I mean, he's at AER 2.0. So I just turned that shit off this time because I don't like the ghosting as much, and even though it's not popping 3D, it's still 3D. You still got the picture into two eyes, and it's just not. I just don't like. I like it to look clean. I don't like to
Right.
see that ghosting.
No, there's a trade-off there for sure.
Hmm.
I'm more on the other end of the spectrum. I prefer it to have that depth. And if there's a little bit, like, you can tune in your in-game settings to kind of minimize that. And if you set the or keep it the mod scaling to half rate, it really minimizes it a lot. Um, Eric, what did you think about this game visually?
I thought it looked great. I mean, there's definitely issues, and depending on how you can get it to run. Let me ask you this: did you guys run everything on Ultra?
I did for a while. After I got into the campaign a little bit, I backed it off to high to kind of bolster my frame rate and minimize things like that ghosting.
I did
What were you
too.
guys getting for frames?
I
It was staying around at 80 for me.
Yeah, same here.
And I never made it that high. No, I did not run it on a Rift S. I don't have a Rift S. But I ran it on my Quest 2 linked and with AirLink, and I could not get above 60 frames even at medium.
Oh,
I
wow.
was 50, high 50s, low 60s. And then there was a few points where it maybe got into the 40s. But I never got it to run any better than that. Now I didn't do. There was a list of things that Roots had put in chat to do extra. Did they
Uh,
make that much of a difference? Do you think?
I
Um,
think they did. I didn't try it before. I just went ahead and did that stuff right off the top. But a lot of people who have used that says it does make a difference. Roots, you've tried it both ways, right?
yeah. And I mean, the thing for it did seem like it ran better. But I mean, they did that update. I don't know if they did the update before on the game before you played it, Mash, or did they?
I did this afternoon. Yeah, I started playing about 2:30 today, maybe a little earlier than that.
Okay, I think
So I don't
they.
know when the update was, but yeah, I used the newest. I used whatever the newest one that we had.
Yeah, no, I
Um,
had mine on Ultra to begin with, and then I did exactly like West did. Got a little bit further in, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to kick it down to high. I mean, really, the settings in the game matter, but they don't matter as much as changing in the mod the resolution, right? Once you change that, that makes a huge difference.
Yeah,
Yep.
you're talking about the sliding scale for the
Hmm.
resolution. Now, did
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
notice that every time you changed the scene, that went back to
Not
normal? Because
every
I had
not
to keep
every
changing it.
time, but it does. That was what I was talking about at the beginning. Not only does it do that, but it turns off the OBS thing. So
Right.
it'll be something that he fixes if it's not already fixed. I'm sure it's probably fixed in this next update, but or the recent, but maybe not. I just know that that's a kind of a big deal, at least.
It is because I could tell. I don't know if about you guys, but I could tell every time I went to a scene where it went back, and I had to like manually going back into the. And I actually left the overlay on for a lot of it because I was trying to see where my best frames were and where it would run properly. And then I'll kind of go over this right now too. I played it with Quest 2, both linked and air linked. It ran like dog shit with the link cable, and I got it to run pretty damn good. The best
Hmm.
experience I had was air link running this thing. So I don't know if it's the compression with the cable, but I had a terrible time running it. I was getting like 20 frames, guys. At
Wow.
one point, I was down to 13 at one point. It was almost unplayable. And that was that for a couple of. I had it on ultra for a while, and then I even kind of backed it down to like medium with the link cable, and it was literally almost unplayable. And I went back to Airlink, and then and here's the deal: like with Airlink, I have to be hooked up to the internet. That was my problem. Because we were trying ultra. I didn't know if we were all going to be trying to play it at one time, and I was trying to not to be connected to the internet. So I ended up having to go back. That's why I went to the link cable in the first place, so I could get unhooked from the internet. And then I had to go back to Airlink because it was so bad. And then I tried it in my Valve Index, and I couldn't even get it to run. So I can't get it to launch the actual video in the headset. I can hear the sound,
Did
Hmm.
you
but it,
did you go into the Steam VR settings and set your OpenXR default to Steam VR?
So yeah, and that's what I'll tell everybody up front is make sure if you're going to run an Oculus headset, make sure you go in. You can actually do it in the game menu. So in the VR overlay, you can actually pick how you want to run it in OpenXR, Steam, XR, or Oculus, and make sure you have it on Oculus because it will run markedly better that way. If you're running an Oculus headset, and the other way if you're going to run a Steam headset. So definitely do that. You can, like Wes said, you can do it in the Steam VR menu, but you can also do it in the in-game menu, the VR in-game menu overlay. You can do it there as well. But yeah, I did. I did.
All right, well, I don't know what to say about that. I never tried it on my G2. I
Oh
just
yeah, I wish you
assumed
did. I bet you. I don't
I
know.
just, I just assumed that I should use the lower res headset to save on performance. But I might go back in and try it now with my G2 just to see what it looks like and how
I,
it
w-
runs.
I would like to see, and I would just like to know if anybody else has an index too, and if they're having issues getting it to run on the index, because I don't know why it would, but like I said, I could get audio in the headset. It just wouldn't launch the video. And then, I just want to say that, I didn't understand for a while why you guys went and got your Rift S's, but it makes 100% sense now with doing the mods because I think it is probably the best way. If you're going to do, especially these Luke Ross mods, I think this is the best way to do it is to have a Rift S. I think probably runs it the best.
Just having it connected to the proper cable, right? That's the biggest thing for me. Is like I don't know that I love the Quest 2. I love the Link, but it's got its limitations, and I did notice even outside. I'm assuming I have no idea if this was the reason, but I'm assuming that it was the the link cable that was because my Quest 2 it ran, but it didn't run as it seemed like I had a lot more issues. Once I switched over the Rift S, it was like it ran great. So
Yeah, so to kind of wrap things up here, not a perfect mod, right? Still, if there's such thing as an early access mod, this is the definition of an early access mod. You have to have a little bit of technical wherewithal to install it and optimize it. But if you get it dialed in, which we all managed to do to some extent, um, even in its state today, Roots, or we'll talk Eric. Even in its state today, Eric, this is not the worst like real mod that we've tried, right? There, like in my opinion, Horizon Zero Dawn didn't perform as well as this.
Nope.
Elden Ring didn't perform as well as this. It's actually in a pretty decent state considering how early on it is in development.
100%. Like everything I just said, once I got through all those things, and even though I never hit 80 frames, I got it to where I thought it was freaking awesome looking. It was beautiful. And then especially those early scenes when you're on that cliff and looking over that freaking ocean, and I had it on ultra a couple of times where it was just popping. And I had gotten it to like 50 to, high 50s to 60 frames per second. It was amazing. Like I said, once you get through it, you have to be patient with it and you have to try a couple of different things. You'll get through it. And then I had one of the best times I've had in a long time in virtual reality. playing this game. It's so worth it. If you're a fan of this game or if you're a fan of Harry Potter, man, you go do this. You'll thank me later if you go do this because it's that damn good. Oh, and make sure you do too. You have to click in the Steam menu to not run this in VR theater mode. A lot of people will forget that too because I kind of to it first. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, this is not the way it's supposed to be. This is Luke Ross mod. I'm not supposed to be looking at this in a theater mode. And you have to manually go in and click that you don't want this to run in VR theater mode because otherwise it'll make you look like you're watching a screen in VR.
Right. Roots, modding issues aside, I think the quality of the game here merits anyone who has any kind of technical expertise to pick this up. It's definitely worth your time. You should be able to get it lined out within an hour. It's definitely worth the $10 to pick up the files from Luke Ross and the updates as they come down.
And it's not just that game. Like this mod, the newest mod will work on every single game that he's ever put out, except for 2.
Except a couple.
Yeah,
But and so you have all of those games that maybe you've heard about that you've wanted to check out, like you said, Horizon Zero Dawn or whatever. The mod works on those as well. So
Red Dead.
Red Dead.
Not anymore.
Oh yeah,
Not anymore.
that's still one of the best games It is the best game I've played in VR probably. This is very close second.
Anyway, I think we all recommend it here with that caveat. Be ready to optimize, be ready to tweak. But if you're have any kind of technical savvy whatsoever and can follow instructions, I'm confident you can get it worked out. If you have any trouble, you can always hit us up on Discord. You'll find a link, invitation link in the description down below, and we'll be glad to give you some tips and kind of get you on your way. Guys, I think that's it. I think that's the show. We did it. Roots, we made it through it. I didn't think we were going to get here.
We did it!
Did your character end up looking like Harry Potter, or is that just me? Like I made it, and I was like, he started wearing his glasses and the hat, and I'm like, my God, he even sounds like Harry Potter, even though I did pick the voice that kind of sounded like his.
I tried to make my character look like me as much as I could.
Did you? Did it look like?
Yeah, in a generic sense, yeah. I mean, nobody would look at it and go, "Wow, there's Wes."
Here's Wes
But
in a robe.
it did kind of look like teenager me
Yeah.
a little bit.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Anyway, that's our show for tonight, folks. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, and please, if you haven't already, click that subscribe button. Again, you guys are moving the needle for us in a big way by clicking all the things. So if you enjoyed this kind of content, if you like unique VR content, stuff you're not going to catch anywhere else, make sure you click like and subscribe. Help us continue to do what we do here. If you want to do a little something extra to help, and again, it's a big help right now, you can do so by supporting us on Patreon. For as little as $3 per month, you get exclusive content, you get our weekly show notes, you get insider updates, all for less than $1 per week. And again, we're making great use of that money here lately. It's been very, very helpful. So shout out to all our patrons out there. And with that said, friends, I'd like to thank you all once again for watching. For Eric and Roots, I'm Wes. We will see you on Sunday. Bye.
Take it easy.
See you later.
Bye.